Welcome to this post-game press conference of the 2025 NCAA Division III baseball tournament. Regional final action in Salisbury today. Salisbury defeating Baldwin Wallace 12-1. So we're joined by representatives of the Sea Gulls, head coach Troy Brohawn. Then left to right is shortstop Trent Waire, first baseman Danny Sheeler, and today's starting pitcher Aidan Brinsfield. So, Coach, congratulations first of all. Can you summarize the weekend that was and another regional title?
Well, I think in the 3 games we put up mid-30 runs, and we only gave up, I think, 8. So just played some very good complementary baseball. Just speaking of today, I mean, Aidan went out and really set the tone early and was electric down in the zone. It took a little while for us today to get the bats rolling, but once we got started, I think in the 5th or the 6th, we started tacking on some runs, putting some good at-bats at the plate, having some good at-bats at the plate, and just continued to tack on some runs. I was really proud of it. And today we got our first 0 on the board defensively, which is usually a staple for us. In the first couple games, we played a little bit out of our element, to say. But today I thought we played really, really good baseball all the way around.
And Trent, it was your home run in the 7th that kind of opened up the floodgates for the offense. And I think it's safe to tell you you're going to be regional most outstanding player, hitting .727 with 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and some really good defense at short. But at the plate, what was working for you so well? How were you seeing the ball all weekend?
I was seeing it well. Just trying to get inside the ball and trust my teammates in front of me, getting on base, and just doing my job and competing, trying to beat the pitcher.
Aidan, you went 8 really strong innings today to pick up the win in the clincher. What was working for you on the hill?
Like Coach said, I was just shooting these, being competitive out there, and trusting my defense behind me that they were going to make a play for me.
Danny, this is your 3rd straight regional title, 5th overall for the program in a row. It's Gull Pile U. Does it ever get old?
And no, it never does get old. And extremely proud of how our guys performed this weekend. And just looking back to about like halfway towards the season, to where we were then, I know we were struggling, weren't playing up to our standard as we should have been. And I know as a team we all met and talked about it, what we need to do to get to this point to where we are today. And just comparing that point to where we were halfway through the year to now, extremely proud of the guys. We had a lot of people change for the better, competing. I'm not going to say that word, but they're competing. And it never gets old. So extremely proud of this group of people. And it does add the sense of urgency when you never know when this last game is going to be with this group of guys. So just keep playing for the next one and guaranteed one day at a time.
All right, we'll open it up for questions from the floor.
Aidan, obviously the whole story is you're the hometown kid that's coming from Parkside. Obviously you're in the middle of what's bound to be a very successful career at SU. What do you think your senior year self would say from Parkside if you told him, you are going to be pitching in the regional for Salisbury and getting a hometown university, the regional clinching win with 7 strikeouts in your start?
It's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know how to put it into words, but I mean, even today, like a lot of guys from the community are out there, like past players or past coaches. So just being in my hometown, it's pretty cool to see all the people come out and watch me. And it's just a game. You just go out there and be competitive.
And for you two, you guys, Trent and Danny, you both played at Loyola Blakefield, which was a competitive school as well in a competitive league. I played 3 years of varsity baseball at Archbishop Curley, so I know how big that league is. How much does that help you when you get into these big matchups here and kind of not having you guys be overwhelmed?
I mean, I would say, playing in a conference like that, looking back in 5 years ago in high school, it's stacked. You know, you're facing guys getting drafted. A lot of guys going D1 on every team in that league. So I would say that definitely prepared me going into college, especially at the Division III level. It definitely gets you going because you're seeing guys on a daily basis, arms who you don't typically get to see in Division III, but sometimes you do. And once you do see those guys, I would say you're much more prepared for it.
Yeah, definitely prepared from that league. Just got to take a chance to slow the game down for yourself most of the time, and just trust your practice and the reps you take, and you'll be successful.
Coach, obviously the historical aspect of this Salisbury success has been small ball defense and pitching. Now that you guys have added a power element to your offense, does that make it any easier to kind of game plan for the games ahead, not having to just rely on one aspect, but knowing that both sides of the ball can execute very efficiently at a high pace?
I mean, I'll never say we're a power hitting team. Do we hit home runs? Absolutely. But if you take it today, I mentioned it after game to the guys when we pulled them up. Dylan Weinbrenner, second in the team in hitting, probably leads the team in home runs. First and second late in the game, what does he do? He bunts. First and second or whatever, he gets up in the 8th or the 9th. What's he do? Square around the bunt again. Everybody on this team understands that you have to be able to move runners. You have to be able to execute bunts. And then, we told Noah, who's batting behind Dylan, said, hey, we're bunting them down to get to you. Be prepared, be on time. So I think everybody's well aware of how we play. And when we execute it, it's really fun to watch.
And Coach, just 2 quick points. You talked about Dylan Weinbrenner's bunt in the 7th inning. He squared around in the 8th. How is his hand? Is there any worries about?
Oh, he's fine. He's fine. Yeah, he's 100% fine.
And then also for you, I know it's early. You just got done with the win, but when you look, the guy all the way to your right, batting .727, hitting 4 extra base hits. That's something you usually see from a guy up at the top of the lineup or in the 4 spot, and you'd be called crazy if you move him from that spot where he's made a living all year and he's on a hot streak in that spot, which you'd also be called crazy if you left him there at the bottom of the lineup. Other than just dealing with being called crazy, how are you gonna go through the lineup and see if you want to change it or keep everything the same as you guys are rolling?
Well, number one, I've been called a heck of a lot worse than crazy, so crazy doesn't bother me. Number two, Trent works his tail off, not only defensively, but he works his tail off trying to get his swing straight. And he'll be the first to tell you that throughout the first half or whatever, he wasn't happy with the way he was performing, and then had to sit a couple games to try to figure it out. But to his testament, his work ethic, and we always say trust your training. He relies on that, and Coach Cyrus has a saying that you never take a rep off. He wants to be able to tell you never take a rep off at practice, and he's one of those guys. So it's always nice to see somebody with that enthusiasm, with that dedication, be successful. But there's never any doubt that he's going to put the work in to get better. So that's what's so fulfilling for me as a coach. I don't work with him with the infielders. Coach Cyrus does, and Coach Meekins works with him hitting, but we all talk, and both of them just say he's relentless in what he does. So when you see the success, it's a credit to his work ethic.
Well, Coach, 4 years in a row now, we'll have super regional action at home. It's going to be Messiah, a team that everybody on this table is familiar with, having gone up there this year, and they came here last year and pushed you to multiple extra innings. So what's the message to your team as you face a opponent probably better than most this time of year?
I'm going to say enjoy tonight, and we will talk about Messiah on Tuesday morning.
Good answer. All right, gentlemen, congratulations. We'll see you on Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you.